Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, this is going to be my predictions for what we're going to find out. And I do think there's going to be some pretty big reveals for the game coming up. For Summoners Fest is the live in-person event the Kabam will be hosting at their headquarters. It is a beautiful, gorgeous, multi-levels. Those of you who go there, I think you're truly going to be like, holy crap. I remember that was my feeling the first time I went there. And I hope you have a lot of fun. Before we get fully into the predictions, you're probably aware, I mean, you can see in the left-hand corner, I'm spending boycotting. We've gone through over that. That's not what this video is about. Is I genuinely hope you have a wonderful time. I was very excited to go. I had planned on going to this. And I'm just not, I don't want to be in a room with these people. I just absolutely do not want to do it. It does not sound fun to me, but I'm going to miss seeing you. It was my favorite thing about 2 years ago. And I am sorry about that, but I hope you have a blast. And one thing I will say about Kabam is they put on a phenomenal show, right? Like if you think about it, this is a company that prioritized the graphics of Dust over the playability. It did like kicking people out of the game, the amount of lag. They are very much about the looks and the shine and the glamour that can be brought with it. And I think they're going to probably put on a hell of a show. I hope you have an absolute blast at it. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over my predictions for this. This is the schedule that is up, and let me know your predictions in the comments. And also, I will be doing my best to live stream cover as much of this as I can that I think makes sense, or at least cover the information that comes out of it. So you can see we've got the schedule here on Saturday, November 8th, Summoners Fest tonight. What I am wondering is if this is going to take basically be in lieu of the live stream that they typically do that should be coming up in about a week. Often they don't announce those until very close to, but I could see this kind of covering it and that some going over some of the big reveals. The first thing I see that seems a little bit strange to me is this is the Battlerealm Brawl, and I hope that I'm reading the schedule wrong because this really sucks. It truly sucks. You've got a bunch of people who spent over 2 seasons. You have like no idea how much these guys have to play to get this good, but then also to combat the RNG of the mode and play each other, and they've qualified for it. And I'm going to take a second to say, I know that not all the top 8 who qualified are going to be there. They can't make it for a variety of reasons, and there's a lot of different reasons. My understanding is somewhere involved. That's not what this video is about, okay? Whoever's there is phenomenal at this game. There's so much RNG in this mode that every person participating and competing deserves to be there and is going to be intense and outrageously high skilled. I'm going to do everything I can to tune in for that because I think it's going to be awesome. So make sure you cheer on everyone that's there, support them, let them know like this is legit, this is awesome, they are awesome, they have a skill that they've earned. Please cheer loudly for them, and then cheer extra loudly for Cantona, and if he is there, Nagase. And this is a little self-leak. I'm self-leaking here. That didn't come out right, but you guys got it. I'm old. I'm not that old. I'm going to bring you as close to as possible as the top 8 qualifiers. Okay, that's already in the works. I can't let that go. I saw some of the videos from the folks who can't make it, and I was like, shoot, you know, where Kabam and things just are failing, I'm going to step in. I want to bring that to you, and I want those competitors to have a place to like compete against each other. So keep an eye on my channel and their channels for that, because we're going to bring some awesomeness to you. All right. You got that. All right. So let's move on. And the thing that's weird about it is I'm like, this should be the highlight or a highlight, but things being what they are, Kabam has scheduled it from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. with literally workshops. And on some level, it makes a little sense to me. Is a champ design workshop, which I have a feeling will be a champ designer. Maybe that's the reason they scheduled it at the same time. They're like, we want to be able to say we did a champion design workshop, but we're hoping everyone goes to the Battlerealm Brawl instead. The writer's room, the guy that's in charge is Vincent. I think he's very intentionally awkwardly funny. I think that's intentional. I have found him to be quite humorous, and I think the story is good for a lot of people. And I know there's people who really enjoy that. So I hope that's really enjoyable. The thing that sucks is it's literally while like the people who've been competing for 2 months, putting on live streams and everything are going. So if I'm reading the schedule correct, you're going to have to like make a decision between those two. I think that's kind of crappy. I think maybe what they're thinking is the people who are really interested in the story of the game aren't that interested in maybe the super competitive modes. I don't know. You tell me. And then the dev Q&A, again, That looks like they did do this. They waited till the Battle and Brawl is over. I'm really curious to see how that goes. Maybe they'll pre-screen the questions. I am not sure. And then we get to this, and this is where a lot of the true predictions come in. Is this MCoC the evolution begins? To me, that sounds like where they're going to do a lot of the big reveals. And I did write these down, and I think it's well. Let you guys tell me. I think a new progression title. It's been a long time since we've had a new progression title. So many have like so many rank fours above like whatever was required. The Act 9.4 beta was announced in game, so I think it makes sense for there to be a new progression title. They're obviously going to have sales. They got banquet places where they're hoping to make a lot of money, and a lot of those are often like, well, if you have this title, then you get these rewards or these offers. So I think it makes sense that they'll be come in with that, and of course, some people will be excited, some people won't. Definitely new Necropolis. I went and I did my research on this. It was 2 years ago. A Kabam employee multiple times. So I don't feel like this is a leak or anything like that, has said that they had decided they were going to do every other year for Necropolis form. If you're not familiar with what Necropolis is, basically like this is like the old of Legends content. It's like these massive fights, takes forever, a lot of spreadsheet planning. A boss that's typically can be fun, but has a lot of like elements where you're like, okay, this is obviously BS. Where if you're able to practice it a lot, you can get very good at it, but you've got to go through sometimes days of fights and quests to get there. So you're never really going to get very good at it. Maybe by the end you will. I don't tend to like that sort of content, but we'll see. It has in years past produced a lot of excitement. And I think this is where this is like a prediction, but I'm also hoping this because I think it would be really smart. But we'll see. As I think this is where you see Seaton. Steam's a bit different, right? I cover the game and I get that, but the guy has like over 400,000 subscribers. It was like literally the face of the game for years. The Kabam brought in creator codes. You see what I've ended up deciding to do with that, but it obviously maybe it was pure coincidence. Seaton is back. I actually really like that. I have even DM'd him saying I'm like happy he's back. I think it's good for like the quality of the YouTubing, let's say, without getting too far into it. He was a big deal for Necropolis, and then also I think it was Abyss of Legends. I think they're going to bring him in. Hopefully, like he's part of the announcement. I do think that will genuinely get players very excited. And as someone who wants to enjoy the game, who covers the game, I want people excited to play it. And so I hope Kabam is smart enough to lean on someone like him who has a lot of goodwill in this community still. And so I'm hopeful of that. I really, really am hopeful of that. The problem is, I think there's a lot of egos there, and so they might not be very happy to share the stage with him, but we'll find out. And then I think they're going to obviously announce the new rank fives. New rank 5 materials for 7 stars. Remember, 7 stars I think can go all the way up to rank 6. So there's a long way to still go with 7 stars, best I can tell. I hope Kabam kind of lets players take their time on this one. We'll see. Obviously, the desire and need to make money is something that is strong with the company. I get it. They're a company business. They need to make money. I think the idea though is to have players having fun along the way, and they'll make more money. But they disagree, and that's fine. But I imagine they'll do that. And then, of course, that will lead into the Cyber Weekend sale, which will just be a couple weekends afterwards, where I had originally thought that Rank 5 materials would not come out until Banquet. But I think lining up with Necropolis, which Necropolis Version 2, whatever they decide to call it, came out in November of 2023. I think it'll come out in November or very, very early December of 2025. And so that will be the first time for us to quote unquote earn rank 5 materials without having to spend, which is usually the draw for that sort of thing. Maybe a champion of some sort, like a special champion. Actually, wait, hold on. That's wrong. We got Deathless Thanos from the challenges. I do think people enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed that. So again, my whole hope that they do fun things. I hope they do something like that where we get like a fun champion who's actually good and things like that. That'd be pretty cool. I think it's a fun way to make the game go. And then you can see they've got all these like Beat the Boss, Battlerealm All, PC Station, Creator Corner, Wheel Corner, Kabam Kitchen. Kabam Kitchen's an interesting one because they actually have like delicious food, tons of room for eating, dining rooms, refrigerators, all kinds of stuff. I have a feeling what they mean more is like the slang term of like, what are they cooking? So you can get a different idea. This will probably be a lot like their roadmaps that they do, where it's like, hey, we might do this in a couple of years, we might not, we don't know, that sort of thing. And I think that can be a lot of fun. One thing I pitched to them, I pitched it 2 years ago, was I think players would love seeing characters that didn't make it live, or like versions of characters that didn't make it live. Like there's this rumor, you know, that CGR was even more broken before he came out. I think similar to not White Magneto, Red Magneto. I think players, I know I would have loved that. And I think a lot of you would have liked that. Let me know. The PC station, I think it's interesting that's even on there because that feels like a very failed thing that they tried to do. I was hopeful that it would work, and so I'm actually hopeful for that. I'm hopeful that they have like upgrades, ways to make that easier to play, more new players coming in. That would be great. And then we move on to day 2, more fun stuff. To me, that means they have no idea what they're doing, but it's going to be fun stuff. So there we go. Who wants to be a summoner? I believe that's who wants to play, be a millionaire. So maybe some sort of quiz game. And then they've got the Battlerealm Brawl finals, which is the absolute finals for this. And like, I'm just gonna call it like it is. This just sucks. Why are there side events at the same time? I assume the idea is to not to give people who aren't interested in the Battlerealm Brawl finals something to do, but like you had 8 people who you're paying to come out, work so hard to get there. Why would you do a side event? And why would it be something as important as a dev panel right now in this state of the game? And Command obviously just disagrees. I think that this is an incredibly pivotal time, an important time in the game. Like things aren't good, Command. And they appear to just be like very certain that they are, that things are great. And people are going to want to go to that dev panel, find out what's going on, be able to ask questions. Why are you doing this? Can you explain this? Do you have a plan? And they've got it simultaneously smack dab at the same time as the people who've worked their butt off to get there. I don't understand that thinking at all. It just it's an to me, honestly, it's an insult to the guys who worked to be there, and I just don't understand it. But yeah, and then the closing, which I do hope is very fun. They from in my I can't say for certain this will be there in my prediction. There's gonna be a ton of giveaways. That wheel thing, it's actually really, really fun. The guy who unfortunately ran it last time is no longer with the company. He was awesome, so much fun. He really understood, like, we're here to have a good time. We're here to have a good time. Or at least that was my experience with him every single time I interacted with him, DM, and did it. So I hope whoever they have wheeling, running the wheel of corner is one of the employees that truly understands players are humans. They're not just a bunch of dollar signs walking around and meant to be treated poorly. It's like we're here to have fun. And it's actually a privilege to make a video game for people. So we'll see. I hope you have an absolute blast. Let me know what you think of my predictions. Am I kind of understand this? And then again, I'm going to do my best to cover what I think is important, and then also as much of the Battleground Brawls as I can, because those guys, they work so hard. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think I got right. Let me know what you think I got wrong. Take care.